Apparently there's a cut in that. Awesome. Everybody, welcome back to Creekside Homestead, Alaska. So I've been off and on working on the pig enclosure. We plan on having a boar and a sow, breeding them, selling some of the offspring and keeping our, fattening up and keeping our own. Anyway, that's the plan. So the weather's been crap. The ground's still frozen about 8 inches down and deeper. So I've been off and on working on this, but I'll show you what I've done so far and then bring you along for the rest of it. The plan is to be the whole pen enclosure will be 32 feet by 16 feet split down the middle, so each pig will get a 16 by 16 foot piece. Each of them will have a insulated box to stay in the winter. I'll show you all the materials I was using. And then of course have a area here for the sow and the babies. Just like a pole barn type of deal. But I'll show it all to you. This is the little pole barn. Just tall enough for mama pig and her piglets. It'll have a roof on it here. Obviously I'm using materials from the area. Right around here. Had to cut a couple of trees down to facilitate the pen. So figured, why not use it? Why buy pressure treated stuff? This will outlast me. Anyway, here's the box. These are, I think they're called SIP panels. Anyway, it's foam insulation with metal on the inside and outside of it. And probably can't tell exactly what I got going on here yet, but attempt to show you. So I have the insulated panels laying on top of a piece of plywood, and then I'll have a roof over top of that. Just these SIP panels I got for practically free. Got them cheap on the marketplace. Someone was getting rid of them. Matter of fact, most of this lumber is off marketplace. But I try to do that because, why pay full price? And full price is crazy right now. I mean, I don't know. Everything's expensive. So anyway, it's the box. Gonna have a little opening here. You can see in there. Probably not see in there. But it'll be plenty. And this is the rest of the crap. It's a mess out here. Absolute mess. So right now we're kind of on the back side of the, on the side of the garage back here. I do plan on, after fencing in the pig enclosure with hog fencing, I'm going to do a perimeter fence around it also, just in case, And then we're also going to put a hot wire and closer to the ground because pigs root, and that's the easiest way to keep them from rooting under the fence. And then I might put a hot wire on the outside too, because some of the neighbors don't watch their dogs. They just let them run wild. And I can't have that. And this pen is a little bit further from where we normally are working in the yard. So I want to make dang sure I don't have problems like that. Even though it should be their responsibility to keep their dogs off of our property. Doesn't always happen. Anyway, I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. So that's that box. It's close. It doesn't look like it, it's close. And then here's the little pole barn. And then the other box will be there. And then I have a couple of gates going to go in up front here. I'm just going to separate the pens with a hog fence going down the middle. And then I'll have a gate on both sides of that so you can get into each enclosure. Also making a spot where I can bring the tractor in, mainly to muck out the pens. But also when it comes time to harvest, it's easier if you have something to pick up the pig. So those are all my grand plans. We'll see how many of them actually change, because it's likely they will. Anyway, I figured I'd bring you along and let you enjoy the fresh. Just the thing. So I do very routinely use materials that are used materials. I try to get them as cheaper, if not free, because we're on a budget. But the drawback of that is, yeah, it takes a lot more work to get it all put together, because a lot of this stuff wasn't designed for this purpose. So you'll see me struggle. That's because it's kind of figuring it out as we go. You know, these sit panels are designed to make, I guess, houses. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. All I know is they're insulated with metal on the both sides, and that's perfect for a box for a pig, because they can't eat it. But anyway, so I'm gonna get back to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Oops. I'll have to scab in a piece at the end there. This is not roofing material. This is siding. Things gonna work out. All right, welcome back. The sun's probably right in your lens, and welcome back. Today I'm in the pig pen area. Is that better? It's our first sunny day in weeks. I guess Mother Nature figured we needed a break from all the projects. But anyway, so I'm not sure what I showed you last time, but I've got the second box mostly completed. Just need to get the roof completely on. I need to get some screws for it, but it ain't much to look at. But he's gonna be toasty when I get that all filled with straw bedding. Anyway, keep the rain and snow off of him. It's insulated. It'll be a good spot for him. And of course, the sow's box is over there. And this is the, I don't know which one to call it, nursery, I guess. This will be on her side only. Just a place that she can nurse the piglets. And I'll close her box off while she's doing that. That'll be in the spring, so won't be that cold. But anyway, today I'm gonna get some of this piece finished. I've got the gates. There's one and there's the other one. So the idea, and I'll show you again later, but the idea is to walk up and we'll have a gate here and a gate here, and then a fence down the middle, and that will be a gate for each side. And then in the middle fence part, I'm going to have a small gate there that, you know, twice a year we can get them together. You know, love. Using these timber locks. These are 10-inch timber locks. I love using these things. They're so easy to use. The only problem is my drill is getting a little long in the tooth, my driver. So I'll probably only get 3 or 4 before I have to change batteries. But anyway, so let me set you up behind here and show you what I'm doing. Yeah, I may have to do something. This is not going to cut it. So I got another battery. Hopefully this thing can get it done. I've been avoiding buying a new driver because they're so dang expensive, but I may not be able to avoid it much longer. Okay. These are spruce logs that I had to cut down for this project. So, ain't cost nothing. I have a couple long logs down on the other property for the rest of those back ones. I'll probably put these side ones on next, as I have a couple shorter ones. I'll cut these to length afterwards with this chainsaw. Easy peasy. Like I said, it's been raining for weeks. Might be an exaggeration, but it's been raining a long time. So everything out here that was sitting here waiting to get used is waterlogged. Makes it a tad heavy. Like I said, these are all logs from a few small trees I had to cut to build this pen. A lot of the stuff in here is going to look a little wonky because I didn't want to cut a lot of trees down. I like the privacy. I'm sure the pigs will appreciate the shade. But you know, I like to keep trees, especially when we're, you know, kind of close to the slough, because the roots, you know, hold the ground better. I don't want anything washing out. Now I know we're far enough from this slough that it shouldn't be an issue. Well, might be in 50 years, who knows? I mean, I'll be dead, but the next people, hopefully my children, will be able to enjoy this. I just had to giggle at the thought of a few of the children with pigs. Man, maybe I'll put that in the will. They have to keep the pigs for a certain amount of time or they can't have no money. Oh, that's delicious. If I had a nickel for every time I've left an open box of fasteners on a sloped surface, I'd have a bunch of nickels. Next time I think I'm gonna put the gates in. Yeah, that'll be the first thing I do next. And then I'll start working on the fence. Fence is gonna be pretty cool. It'll be short because they're pigs, they don't exactly jump. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is would like to get these 2 gates in, and from there I'll be able to tell exactly how much fence I'll need in the front, and it'll give me a starting point for this middle piece of fence. It's going to take a little bit less fencing than I expected originally because, well, each of these is 4 feet wide. I don't need to actually fence in some spots because of the little nursing area and the boxes. They'll be part of the perimeter. So, but the next thing I think, because everything kind of hinges on where these gates end up, I'm going to get these installed. I'm going to use T-posts. I would normally do something a little bit more permanent, maybe, you know, 4x4 posts with concrete in the hole, but I'm not 100% sure that this is going to be the final iteration of this part of it. So if it works out, maybe I'll come back and do something more permanent. I've actually had these T-posts work very well for things of this nature in the past. So if I can get them in here deep enough and get them in here and they're solid, I should be able to use these to mount the fence. So I'm gonna mount the fence too. I'm gonna use 3 T-posts, one on the 2 outside, one in the middle, and I will attach the gates to the T-posts, and they should work just fine. We'll see. So I'm not gonna get anything done yapping about it. Got these new noise canceling earbuds from Axel. I'm still kind of trying them out. They have some pretty good features and they seem to work really well for noise canceling, because I don't know if you've ever driven T-posts before, but I can tell you it's loud. So I have to go get some hose clamps. Hopefully this works the way I envision it. That is crooked. Okay, so the idea, use these hose clamps to attach the gate to the T-posts. Hopefully this is enough. Should be. Maybe they're just big enough. So my biggest concern with doing it this way is this all being strong enough. If I get a pissed off pig wanting to get out, oh, I think it'll be fine. I'm putting a hot wire at the bottom of it, so strength of the fence matters less when there's a few thousand volts. So my idea here is for this next one, I'm gonna put it where it needs to go. And then swing the fence out of the way, like that. So yeah, the middle fence will easily match to there. Let's see. That'll work right there. I will have to do a little bit of groundwork at some point around the fences. So one of the things about Alaska, well, any place that snows or freezes, is you'll get a buildup. So you need your fence to come up a tad over the ground, like this one. Gives you enough room in case your snow and ice gets packed down in front of the fence, so you can actually open it. Very common issue. One of the things I was thinking about doing is actually building I don't know, a small roof on top of the fences to keep the snow from building up. But we'll see. That's definitely an option. bugs are getting really bad back here. This will be good. Get these at least set. Then I can start running the fence, building it section by section, getting it in, and that should tighten everything up, especially when I get this middle part down. In case anybody out there is wondering, yes, I usually do things the hard way. Not because it's hard, but because, one, I like to do things myself. Two, I'm on a fixed budget, so I have to save money. And three, sometimes it's just fun trying to figure stuff out instead of buying everything prefab, you know. I open both ways, which is kind of nice. Definitely going to change the chain out. But overall, I like them swinging both ways like that. But I might come back and put 4x4s in, at least on the outsides. But they connect together here, and then I'll have the center fence running straight down there. It's a short fence, but that'll actually help this, because they'll be all connected, and then fence going off the sides. So I'll bring you back for the next stage. Now I'm going to start building the fence panels. This first one, pretty easy. I need a 16-foot piece. I actually don't need it that long, but the galvanized fence panels, the hog panels, are 16 feet long, and I think they're 34 inches tall. I'm going to make the fence panels 36 inches tall. I'm going to put it together real simple, and I hope that it's stable when I'm done. It should be. If not, I'll have to reinforce it. I did get some 4x4s pressure treated for the corners. Anywhere the two fences meet, I'll put a 4x4 to give me something good to screw them together. So anyway, I'm kind of winging it here like usual, but let me get this material in here and I'll start getting this screwed together and see how quick it goes. So I'm going to need 4 8-foot boards, and then I'll need 1 10-footer that I'm going to cut into 3 36-inch pieces, and that should be all the pieces to put that together, and then the fence panel. All right, let me get started. These boards are not pressure treated. I used Thompson's water sealant on myself. I wish I had a nice level spot to do this, but I don't. And for all you carpenters out there, DIYers, whatever, I know it's not the same as pressure treating. Try to save a buck, save quite a bit of money doing it this way. And in the long run, it's a pig pen. So let us keep that in mind when we're judging. It should be strong enough. I'm a tad concerned concerned about it bowing in the middle. All right. Okay, so I got the frame flipped over. I've got the fencing laying on it, and now I'm just going to use these big 1.5-inch staples to fasten the fence to the frame. I fear leaving one of these dang staples in this driveway. Starting to rethink that this was a good place to do it. go at your speed. Your speed is stopped.
Well, I was gonna fall.
All right, hold on a minute. So your end, you got it? Your end is going to tuck right up in here.
Okay.
Okay, as far as it can go.
Okay.
Let me see. You're going to want to be to the right of the green post. Yep, right there. Huh? Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's the beginning of something pretty cool. See, y'all, I told you she was strong. So that's the first fence piece in. That's the, this is the one that's going to separate the hog and the sow. So it'll connect here. I'm going to connect it. I'm going to actually drill a hole through that T-post and connect it that way initially until I come up with something better. And then it'll connect back here to the little nursery area. And the next one I'm going to do is going to come off of this gate down to this marker, and then I'll do from there to the side of the sow's box. But that's where I'm at. It's actually coming out pretty good. Never actually tried to drill into a T-post before. I have a feeling there's someone out there right now going, oh, I can't wait to see this. I don't know. How hard could it be? Not that hard. Oh, yeah, I just broke a drill bit being stupid. Trying to rush it. Back to the drill index. Do yourselves a favor. Just spend the money and get 5 amp hour batteries. We just got a good rain, so I'm not too worried about sparks, but I will pause a second to look for them. Okay, I think I'm gonna put something behind that. I have a piece somewhere. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Should have done that first. Thinking something like that. Yeah. I like it. It's probably almost straight. That's where we're at right now. I'm going to call it for the day. It's getting a little late. And pick it up tomorrow. But I like the way it's coming out. I'd love to hear anybody's opinion on whether they think the pigs are going to escape or not. Maybe I'll do a quiz or a poll or something anyway. So I ran into a couple of spots where I have to put the fence across some roots that are above ground or just under the ground, but they're causing problems. I'm trying to get the fence. I don't care so much about level, but it needs to be, as flat to the ground as possible, so that they don't try to root under it. Well, they may try anyway, but there's going to be a hot wire, so ow. But so I'm going to have to cut a channel in a couple of these root systems here and over there on that long spot, so that the fence can sit mostly flat. I'll have to use a shovel on some of it too, but anyway. I hate doing this to a blade, but I have actually kept this blade, or this chain, just for this purpose. I've been using it to cut parts in the ground like this. And this little tree is going to go anyway. So I think I got that channel where I need it. Bring this fence piece over and see. think that's far enough there. And then I can put a chunk of wood in there to help secure that. I think we're good to go right there. I have very mild, undiagnosed OCD, right? I like things to be, you know, uniform, I guess is the best way to put it. And this, the way I'm building out here in this little edge of woods here, I'm trying not to cut trees down. And so I didn't want to do a bunch of terraforming back here, so to speak. So the box, for instance, has to be where it is because there's roots and this, that, and the other, and that's a nice tree. And this thing is where it is because of the same basic thing. So this piece of fence right here is at an angle. It's not square with anything. So that's going to probably bother me a little bit, but I have to get over it because this is how it's going to go. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do the food and water yet. I'd really wanted to use like one heating element for the water for both sides, but the way I've built this, I don't think that's going to be probable. So I might have to bite the bullet on that. One thing in Alaska that is a challenge in places like this, that it's where it gets cold for a long time. I mean, our winters are long and cold. Is keeping the animals' water from freezing. All kinds of different ideas online, but a lot of them don't work up here because it stays so cold so long. So a lot of times you just have to bite the bullet and pay the electric bill to heat these water buckets or troughs or whatever you're going to do. I think that's got it. I'm going to use clamps to attach that. It worked fine down there, so. I'm going to scooch that in a little bit. So by putting the two shelter boxes basically on the outside of the pen, it gives us that much, it gives the pigs that much more room to wander. I like them to have their own place to wander. I'd love to have a much bigger area, but just don't. Might make it bigger later on. Maybe we'll keep a few more pigs, but anyway, I need to put together one more 16-foot piece. I'm using 4x4s at the corners when I can. Just to help help the fence. Give me a little bit more to screw into. And this last long piece of fence is going to go right along here, connect to this, and then connect to the box. Got the last big piece of fence to go in. Now, my thermocell has officially run out. So I'm about to get carried off by these mosquitoes. So I was saying before getting interrupted by a chicken emergency. We do have those. Chickens can be something else. But anyway, I think I'm going to sink a T-post at both corners and attach the fence to it. Anyway, just to keep the pigs from being able to like get under it. I am putting the hot wire on here. We've said that before. But the two outside corners here are the only ones that they could possibly lift, and I mean that would be a trick. I can barely lift it, so I doubt it would be a thing. But I mean, obviously we're here to check them every day, but they are this pen is, you know, a bit removed from the rest of our organization over there, so I want to make sure that they're safe. There. All right. So that's the last fence piece. It could look better, but yeah, I might put another log on top just to make it look better. Anyway, that's the last fence piece. We are officially secure. We would be ready for pigs. I do want to put the hot wire, but we're not getting pigs until spring. Kind of missed the window, and we want a good mix. We're looking at now we're looking at maybe Kuni potbelly mix, because we don't want anything that's going to get too big for me to handle for one. But really, this isn't designed for a large, 800-pound pig. So we're going to hold out for a good mix, and we also need a boar and a sow mating pair. So I have time. Winter is fast approaching. I know it's like 75 degrees today, so it doesn't seem like it, but it'll sneak up on you out here. So next thing I'm going to do is I am going to address the roofing materials. Like I said, I finally have enough to make it right, and I have screws now, so I can fasten it all down. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, mainly because it's the easiest, is I think I'm going to do this roof first. Well, I think that's good. I might have to come back with some tar, no doubt, but not a big deal. It will shed water and snow. So this stuff that I'm using here is not roofing material. It's siding, so it's a little goofy. I'll have to put a bead of caulk, I think, between the sheets here. I got all this material for free. I paid for the material these boxes are made out of. Zip panels, I think they're called. And then the guy just started throwing stuff in because he was trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So, being the scrounge I am, I took it. Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, awesomeness. What time is it? Might have a little bit of that. Ooh. Apparently there's a cut in that. Awesome. Get the circuit breaker reset. Dang it. All right. Plan C. Starting to think all my tools have bad cords. This is gonna be loud and obnoxious. But it's fast. That is probably one of my least favorite ways to cut that stuff. But it is fast, so annoying. That's that. Well, got it done. We are definitely pig ready, except for the hot wire. But like I said, I'm gonna do that in a separate video. But here's the final product. Front fence here, sow's gate, the boar's gate. Come in the boar pen. Got his box. Separation. Fence there. That's the south side. Little nursery area. in her box. And that's all of it. Decent project. Took a while. I mean, I did a lot of stops because other priorities were a little higher. But yeah, I'm real happy with the way it came out. Hopefully anybody watching got something out of it. Got some ideas at least. But if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. Please consider liking, subscribing, joining if you'd like to. But yeah, fun project. Thanks for coming along with me, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.